Hello, my name is Alexandre Gaudiano and I'm a VFX compositor. Special effects have fascinated me since I was a kid. Growing up in the 80s and 90s, I was lucky enough to discover amazing movies like Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, Star Wars, and Jurassic Park. Speaking of Jurassic Park, if you ask directors from my generation what inspired them, many will probably say it was that movie. At one point, I also wanted to become a director. I even made a few short films with the limited resources I had at the time. And I asked myself the same question. What movie made me want to become a director? And I didn't have any answer. The truth is, many movies made me want to work in this industry, like the one I just mentioned. I realized they all had something in common: special effects. Not only that, but they were all directly or indirectly made by ILM. So, it wasn't a specific movie that made me want to do this job, but rather a company. I didn't have the advantage of coming from a country with a well-developed movie industry. And as a result, there weren't any schools that train VFX professionals. On top of that, coming from a more working-class background, I had to take several detours to get where I am today. These detours meant that I completed my visual studies very late. I was 29 when I finished, and I ended up doing a multimedia designer program because I couldn't pursue anything better at the time. My journey into VFX truly began after that program. Even if I earned a degree from an art school, most of my training came from learning on the job and spending countless hours studying on my own after work or during my commute. After about 10 years of self-training, I was able to validate all that knowledge by earning a master's degree from the prestigious Art Ethics School through the process called Validation of Acquired Experience, or VAE. For me, this was a real accomplishment because the road had been long and challenging, but the effort was well worth it. I'm very proud of this achievement. At work, I only use Nuke, sometimes Mocha, but it has becoming less and less frequent. I do compositing, and Nuke is the best software I ever used for that. There was a time when I used After Effects, and while it has its strengths, especially for 2D motion design, when it comes for VFX, Nuke is unbeatable at the professional level. I could go into details, but that would take an entire video, so I'll just say that for pure VFX work at pro level, Nuke is the best. At home, I use Maya a lot because I love modeling, especially hard surface modeling. I used Cinema 4D for years, but since switching to Maya, I feel much more comfortable. I always loved 3D. In fact, that's what I initially wanted to do, but I ended up becoming a compositor by chance. That's also why my specialty is CG compositing. That said, I haven't given up the hope of finding some professional project where I can put my 3D skill to use. I should also mention DaVinci Resolve, which I mainly use for editing, and Affinity Photo for photo retouching. There are many projects I'd like to mention, but here are 3 in particular. Number 1, Black Panther Wakanda Forever. This was my first Marvel movie and the first time I worked with rights. I really enjoyed the pipeline at their studio and the cohesion within the team. Plus, it was a high-profile movie, and I loved the excitement that came with it, even if it was intense sometimes. I have great memories of this project and still maintain good relationship with rights. Number 2, Journey to Europe. This was the first animated feature movie made almost entirely with Unity. I say almost because the modeling, animation and texturing were done in other software, but the set dressing, lighting and finalizing were all done in Unity. I had the opportunity to supervise the entire finalizing process, which could almost be called real-time composite. I had a certain level of creative freedom which allowed me to suggest lighting looks and moods that were kept in the final version of the movie. It was the artistic freedom that I truly enjoyed about this project. And while it was still somewhat frustrating due to the current limitation of the software, I really enjoyed lighting such a project in real time. Number 3, Noche UFC with Nexus. This was a unique challenge for me. It was a short sequence created for a special event at the Las Vegas Sphere for a UFC fight celebrating the Mexican independence. We created several movies in almost 360 degree with a final resolution of 12K. There were many details we had to be mindful of because we had to ensure everything worked visually around the entire viewer experience. Unlike traditional movies, where the viewer's focus is directly within the 16:9 frame, this project has no such boundaries. Plus, with the immense size of the Las Vegas Sphere, the screen covers the viewer's entire field of vision, so motion sickness could easily occur if we didn't do our job well. On the flip side, when done properly, some people who had the opportunity to attend this unique event might have felt like they were flying. Everyone is talking about AI these days. Some people fear it while others have already embraced it. At the moment, I don't see it replacing artists, but my real concern comes from the misunderstanding of those outside the industry. Clients might not understand why an artist costs so much when AI does everything for free, or business people might launch all AI companies and make money off this misunderstanding. However, AI is here to stay, and once it reaches maturity, it will likely be used to make tools more efficient. Let me give you a simple example. I use ChatGPT all the time as a super Google because I can explain with my own simple terms and it understands me and gives the right answer. With the regular Google, if I don't use the right keyword, it can't find anything. For VFX, it's gonna be similar. Once AI matures, it will be embedded into tools to make certain tasks easier, helping us do better work and faster. Personally, I'm more excited about the evolution of immersive technologies like stagecraft, which not only allows for real lighting and reflection interaction, important for VFX artists like us, but also let actors truly be in the environment rather than just standing in front of a green screen. Technologies like Gaussian splatting, augmented reality, and real-time render engines like Unreal or Unity are also evolving. Today, the worlds of video games and movie are colliding, and if you combine all the technologies I've just mentioned, including AI, I think that's where the future of our industry lies. I'd even say that VFX artists working in movies will be more and more in demand and involved in video games projects in the future. Now is 2024, maybe I'm wrong, but if you're watching this video in the future, let me know in the comment if I was right. Don't just learn a tool, study the craft. For example, if you want to model, don't just learn how to use Maya, Cinema 4D or Blender, study topology. If you want to do compositing, it's not just about mastering look, learn photography, and understand how a lens works, including what influences depth of field and motion blur. In short, focus on core skills, because they will provide you with a solid foundation and enable you to switch between programs without any issues. Think about the story of the three little pigs. Yes, I love using fables as example. If you learn to use just a few tools, you will be quickly able to work, but that will be like building your house out of straw or wood. At the first unexpected problem, everything will come crashing down. On the other hand, if you take the time to build a house with bricks on a solid foundation, you'll be prepared and steady under any conditions. Build your network, don't isolate yourself. It's imperative in this industry to know people, and the only way to do that is by participating in events. Sign up for Discord server, Facebook groups, and LinkedIn. Network as much as possible. People tend to underestimating this aspect. For instance, if you apply for a job, knowing someone who worked at the company might be the difference that tips the scale in your favor. Stay updated on technological advancement. You don't need to know everything or how it works, but it's essential to be aware of new technologies so you can quickly find information on them when necessary. Victor Perez once said there are things we know, things we don't know, and things we don't know that we don't know. Staying informed regularly will help you avoid this last category. Ask for feedback. Don't hesitate to ask for honest feedback from your leads or supervisors. It's always important to gain different perspectives, as this will help you improve and understand if the collaboration went well. It's crucial to leave a positive impression of yourself. However, you need to be prepared to accept that what is said might upset or hurt you, which brings me to my final tip. Don't take things too personally. I give this advice to myself because it's something I still struggle to apply. When you put your heart into something, it's always difficult not to get emotionally involved. However, you must keep a cool head and understand that it's not you as a person who's being judged, but your work in relation to client requests. There is no reason to have nightmares just because the work you did on one shot didn't please. Know that the work you do on the next one will surely be praised. So stay positive. I know very well that it's not easy, but making the effort is already a step in the right direction. Thank you very much for inviting me in this interview. I very much appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed doing it. If you want to see more about myself, you can take a look at my website www.gaudiano.com, and you can also take a look at my YouTube channel, The Ages Way, where I share some tutorials about compositing in Nuke. My name is Alexandre Gaudiano, and I hope I'll see you soon.